During this webinar, as you can see on the screen, I will explain to you what is Tuleap, okay? And that I would like it's you discover what is Tuleap and the open source experience with Tuleap. Okay, so first of all, I will introduce myself and explain you who I am. Okay, so my name is Sebastian. I'm from the Tuleap team. I'm business manager inside the Tuleap team, and my work is to understand your need. Okay, so this is my first job. My job is to understand what you need and how Tuleap can meet your several challenge and your requirement. So I work in several kind of company and industry by the past, so that's why I have some I work with several kind of tool and several kind of methodology or workflow for the project management. Okay, so during this webinar, what we are going to speak. First of all, I will speak about the business challenges that we have now, you have for your project, and what kind of business challenge you have to meet if you want to manage all your market and your product life. Okay, so if you don't meet them, what could be the impact? And after, I will explain you how with Tuleap you will be able to meet your several challenge. We will speak together about the Tuleap offer. What is Tuleap? What is Tuleap Enterprise exactly? And I will finish with a demo time where I will create a new project with Tuleap. You will see that it's very easy to create a project. And with this project, I will start with the first ID to the end of its test. Okay, so let's speak about the business challenges and why we create Tuleap around them. The first of challenge, it's about the market. Okay, so everyone here knows that the market expectations are more and more increase a lot and are more and more difficult to respect. So that's why it's important to be able to adapt to the market change. The other way, it's okay, you can adapt, but you have to deliver value very fast. Okay, so that's why your organization have to meet and to fit to be the most efficient as possible. And the last one is about the regulation, about the norms, and there is more and more norms for all our development process and product. So that's why it's very important to be compliant with all this regulation. And the other expectations that you have to meet is about the internal expectation. Okay, because that's great. You have the market, you understand your market, and you know how it's important to be and to match with him. But you have a team, okay, and this is your team that will create and do the delivery. So that's why it's important, first of all, to be able to align the team with a company objective. Okay, what does that mean? That means our product are more and more with several kind of team, and each team could have their own organization, but have to understand what is the roadmap about your company and about the project where they are working on it. And about the team, as I told, it's important that the team could organize themselves. Okay, because they have to be the most efficient and to meet this expectation to deliver value faster to customer. Okay, and you have to keep that all your team could be and could organize themselves, but have to keep the align and the main roadmap of your company. And about the CIO, it's important to have a tool where you will be able to work with them for a long time and to have the company that will be able to give all the support about the tool that you need. What happens if you don't fix this problem? The first one, you will miss your market rendezvous. Okay, that means sometimes you could be outside the market because you didn't do all the change um, as fast as necessary. I think every one of you here know a company that are very big and they lost all their market because they were not able, for example, to create all the digital new product. And the other one, it's okay, you are able to adapt, but you take too many time, and that's why you will lose your market because there is a time to market that it's too long. Okay, for your market, but about the internal expectation. If you are not able to align all your several teams, you can have some teams that are disconnect between them. If they are disconnected, you could have a lack of motivation and they can have their own objectives that are not the same than the product or the enterprise objective. But the team, okay, they are all in the same way, in the same roadmap and same organization, but they are not efficient because the organization that you need for all your main roadmap, it's not the right one for your team. And you could have some IT shadow. That means the team want to be more efficient, so they will add their own tool to adapt their organization. And about the CIO with AllSync, he could have some vendor looking tool, more and more tool to manage, and so increase to the TCO. So that's why with Tuleap, what we propose is, first of all, about the market challenge. That we want is to offer a single solution. Okay, everything is inside Tuleap. When you have Tuleap, you have all his several features. So as you can see, program management, project management, code versioning. So the several features that you will need to manage all your project from the first idea here to the end of its last test. Okay, and all the documentation of your project will be stored in the same way. So that's why with this, you will have a traceability from A to Z, okay, a full traceability. And because all the data are in the same place, we are work a lot with reference with Tuleap. So that means when you're looking for data, you know exactly the one that you want. And all the team are working in the same tool. So that's why you will have one organization for your team. So with this, you will be able to meet your internal challenges. The first one is to set a company project management system. Okay, so with Tuleap, you will be able to create, for example, a project template for all your team. And you said, okay, for this template, you have the main organization, and we ask you to keep this organization. And each team will be able after to create their multi-profile team in the same environment, okay, with all the several actors of that project in this Tuleap project. And in this Tuleap project, they will be able to adapt it to be the more efficient for the organization. But with the main template, they are all working in the same philosophy, but they will adapt it to be sure that all the team will be efficient for the rendezvous that they have to do. And the last one for the internal team, it's to use an open source software. Open source, what does that mean? That means with Tuleap, you will have a new kind of experience because we would like to, and we worked to align all the open source and the industrial process and delivery and support. So that's why when I speak about Tuleap Enterprise, I speak about a software that is 100% open source and not open core. our main target is for you to be autonomous of this tool as soon as possible. Okay, and thanks to this, you will have a faster ROI for your organization. The other point that is very important, you are free with us. What does that mean? That means when you take Tuleap Enterprise and you take the first year's subscription to have support, for example, if at the end of this year you don't want to have any more support from us, you will be able to keep Tuleap because it's free to use. Okay, you will update it as you want with the Tuleap community, but you are not obliged to stay with us if you want to continue with the Tuleap. Okay, so that means our customers stay with us only because they want to stay with us and not because they have to. The open roadmap, it's one kind of organization that we propose for our customer to be a part and an actor of a public development. So some of our customers have some ticket with the open roadmap and they ask us to say, okay, I need this kind of features. So I want to use this ticket and you create these features. And sometimes they can align and put several tickets in the same features from several customers. So with this, it's very important because you will increase all your user satisfaction because when a user asks something, he will have it. You will be a product owner from us, okay, and you decrease the IT shadow. With the open innovation, this is very important for us. With Tuleap, you will have one delivery per month. Okay, that means there is one update per month, and you will work on it to have all the new features each month. Okay, so that's why we'll give you all these features to have all the innovation about Tuleap. Okay, for this. So how now Tuleap it's organized? As I told you, Tuleap you have one Tuleap that will be run on your server or on the cloud, and with Tuleap you have one workspace. The workspace, this is where you will put your project and where you will manage all your workflow for the project realization. One workspace, it's teammate and tool. Okay, and with Tuleap, when one Tuleap instance, you have how many workspace you want. The workspace could be the same as another one and have link with it, but it could be totally autonomous. And so to finish, what is Tuleap Enterprise offering? So first of all, we have the boss on-premise, so for your server, and on the cloud. Okay, so on the cloud, this is hosted by us. On-premise, this is for you, and we have several kind of support for each kind of Tuleap installation. Our work is to understand with you how we can improve your Tuleap use, and that's why we work a lot with you to understand how we can work together to have all this amelioration process. As you can see here, this is the several kind of support that we propose and the subscription that you could have with Tuleap on-premise and Tuleap Cloud. Okay, so to be very fast, you have access to all the new features and to the new update of Tuleap. Expert, there is a support from us with SLA. And manage, Tuleap it's on your server and we manage it for you. And this is for the Tuleap Cloud. Okay, the My Tuleap, it's the SaaS mode. And Premium Cloud and Ultimate Cloud, this is a specific server for you. Okay, so now I will show you how Tuleap is working. Okay, so first of all, we will create a new project. And with this project, so as I told you, a project is like a workspace. I will add a team. Okay, and after I will create my organization to have my Scrum board and my Kanban. After I will create a backlog Okay, so the project that I will create, it's in Agile mode, but you can create how many kind of project you want, because as you will see, Tuleap, it's very customizable. So that's why you can organize as you want. After, I will create a release and a sprint inside, because we're in Scrum development system. And after, I will plan the backlog, manage the implementation, and release the version, and validate this release. So as you can see, with this demo, we start from the first project that I need, and we'll finish it when I will be able to deliver it. Okay, so if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me on the chat. Okay, so this is Tuleap. As you can see, I access Tuleap with a current navigator. Okay, all the last one, and I start here. Each user has their own page. Okay, so this is my page, and here you can add several widgets, and this widget will take the data from the other project where you are working on it. Okay, so the one that I will do, it's this one, a new one. I will create a new project. Okay, so I take it. This is one of kind of template. So as you can see here, you have the template from Tuleap. Here you will have the template for your company. Okay, so I will create here, this is for workspace webinar. Okay, visibility private, okay, and okay for this. So I start my project, and what happened here? My project will be automatically created. The project will use the template configuration to start here with all the several tools that are created inside this template. Okay, so I can start to work now. Okay, so when you arrive on your workspace, you each time have the same frame. The first one, it's this one in the left, where there is a navigation menu, where you will have all the several services that you need. This one, it's the main frame where you will work on it. Okay, so when you connect on your workspace, you will have your welcome page, where you have several dashboards. As your personal page, you can add how many dashboards you want. And for each dashboard, you will have some widget. Okay, so you can add a widget to, for example, I want to see all the several user stories that I create, or perhaps Epic. Okay, so that's great. I add a new widget, and this widget will give you some information about your organization. Okay, so let's go now on my administration, and I will add my team. Okay, so this is here where you can find your several members of your project. Here I go on the services to say what kind of tool I want to enable for this project. So you can imagine, okay, I need the continuous integration tool. I add it. So as you can see, everything is done by me. I'm not Tuleap administrator. I'm just administrator of this project. And I don't have to ask to my Tuleap administrator to do something. I'm autonomous of this. Okay, so that's great. Now I can start to work. So I start my planning. So I change the tool. This is a tool that you will use to plan and to manage your project. First of all, I will create a new epic. Okay, so this epic, imagine it's all the development for the front office, for example. Okay, so you have description, and that's okay for me. So the front office is great. And now I will add a user story. On my backlog, I decide for this organization that there is bug and user story inside this backlog. In the same way as I told you, each field that you can see here, you can customize them, remove, add another one. And in the same way, if you don't want to have user story but delivery, for example, you can add a new tracker as you want. Okay, you customize your organization. So I want to display. Okay. Now, this is my first user story. Okay, we can imagine that there is a cost. This is up to you to define. And I will link this user story to my epic. Okay, for this organization, I decide that my user story is a child from the epic. And the user story could have several child, and these child are tasks. Okay, so I will add a new task for this user story. And this task is create a new email page. Okay, this task I assign it to one of my team. And you can see here, it's already linked to my user story. Okay, and now I will create my the several milestones. The first one, this is the release. Okay, so imagine that in the release 1.0, it starts this one and end date at the end of June. Great. And after, inside, I will create a sprint. Okay, so the sprint. So we can imagine that this sprint starts at the beginning of June and we finish here. And I create another one. Okay, so my two sprints are create and my release is ready to be done. Okay, so I can see that there is a question. Yes, you can migrate old version of Tuleap. We have a specific offer for this. The name of this offer is sanity check and update installation. So we will check your Tuleap 7.4 because I think this is Tuleap community. And we have to be sure that your Tuleap it's not break. Okay, and after this we will do all the migration. So the migration, there is no migration. There is it's just update. Okay, but we will do the several updates. You have all Tuleap, so you could have some several updates, and we have to plan this together to see how we can do it. So don't hesitate to send me an email at the end of this webinar. We will speak together about this and to organize it. Okay, so my two sprints are great. So now I'm ready to continue on my planification. Okay, I have this user story. And as you can see, I say, okay, this user story, I want to do it for the release 1.0. Inside this release, now I have to organize this release with my several sprints. Okay, so I organize it on the sprint 1. Great, now I can work on it. I go on my taskboard. On the taskboard, I find my user story here, the tasks that I already create. And with this taskboard, I can create other tasks if I want. I can assign directly to someone. You know, it's up to you to organize. And this taskboard is very useful when you do, for example, your daily meeting or something like this. Okay, all the tasks will be moved. The story will be updated. And after, we imagine that all the tasks are on review, the user story. So we decide that it changed and the user story is on review too. Okay. So that means now I'm able to work on the test. So I have only this user story because there is only this for the moment. And on this test plan, I will create some new tests. Okay, so the first test is check if the page is here. Okay, you can add step if you want. Okay, so now it's ready. You can select the other time, all field here, you can customize them. Okay, so the test is great and it's automatically linked to this user story. And now I can launch my campaign. So I asked my campaign to take all the tests in the 1.0. Okay, so this is the first campaign validation. And inside you can see here, he updates the several data to say, okay, this user story have one test case, this test case is planned, but was not run. I go on the tool about the test, and with the test, I find here my test definition. And I can say, okay, let's work on it. This one is working. That's work. Okay, no, that doesn't work. I create a bug. Okay, so it not working. Okay, I write it like this. The bug is here, and as you can see, I here have all the link for what I did. So I create here a test execution that is linked to this test case. Okay, this test case is linked to this user story. I generate one bug, and with this tool, I'm able to see exactly what was done and to have all the information that I need. Okay, I go back from this epic. There is it's planned on this sprint, and you can after take this and send it to explain what you did. Okay, great. So now we are working on this bug. And for this bug, I go on this on the detail, and the detail I can say, okay, I'm ready. So in progress, I work on it, and I will add it to the top backlog. Okay, so now when I go back to my backlog, I see my bug. Okay, it will appear here. So now I have to fix it. This bug is here. So for example, I decide to take it and to link it here. Okay, so inside there is, I decide that for this release, I have to fix this bug. In the same way, the bug will have his own life. Okay, it's done. That means I can do another test. And now the bug, it's one of part of this release. Can go back here, create a new campaign if I prefer, it's up to you. And I can say that's okay for me. Now it's working because the bug is fixed. Okay, so now my user story is ready. I go here and I say, that's great for me. I can deliver it to customer. And I start the last one, the other one. Okay, so what we have now? We have this, and this release, I have all the several data that I need to understand what what was done during this release. Okay, so here you have what was done inside, the user story, the bug, you burn up, burn down, okay, the several sprint planning inside, the task board, the test, and all the information that were created during this release. Okay. And when I go back here, I can say, okay, I want to display my several release and to see inside the several sprints. Okay, so you have here all the information that you need. Okay, for this, is there any question at this point of situation? Okay, I see your email, Alirio. I will contact you. Okay, perfect. So if there is no more question, I go back to my. So as you can see, I go quite fast. I can't show you everything, but so don't hesitate to ask me if you want to have a specific demo for each feature. And just to see here, several questions that were asked to me last time. For example, you subscribe for 100 user. Okay, so the several Tuleap enterprise, it's organized with a user pack. But you have a new project, and so you have 50 people that arrive on your project, and you need to create 50 new user on your Tuleap. There is no problem for us. You won't be blocked. Okay, that's very important to understand. That means you have your Tuleap for 100 people. You need 50. You add this 50, and after you tell us, and you say, okay, I think the new pack that I need it's 1,500. That's important to understand. It's you give us the information, and after we will update for the renew. Another question that could be something could be worried for you. That's great because Tuleap is customized, but you think, okay, I purchase Tuleap and the subscription, but I don't know how I can start. There is no problem about this because we are here, okay? In Aline, we are the editor of Tuleap, and that means we will work with you to start your first project. Okay, so we have a specific offer, the name is onboarding offer, to work with you about all your organization and to be sure that the start will be the right one. And there is all the formation that you could have learning or something like this. Another question, it's about the update. Okay, there is one update per month when Tuleap is installed, that's great. But sometimes you could say, oh, one update, that means I have to stop Tuleap during 1-2 hours to update it. No. Our updates are very optimized. That means you will be able to launch it. It's just a packet to launch. And when you launch it, you should have 5-10 minutes stop about your Tuleap, and after it works well. The other one is about the manage. Okay, you have to host your on-premise because you can't put it outside your organization, but you don't have an IT team to work on it. That's no problem for us. We'll be able to organize ourselves to be to manage your server for you. So thank you very much for all your attention and for doing this webinar. I hope that you had the several information that you expect to have. I will give you on the chat my email, and don't hesitate to send me an email if you want other information and if you have any question. And we will work together to see how we can work on it and to see how Tuleap can meet your several challenges. Thank you very much, all of you. If there is no more question, and don't hesitate to send me information and to contact me. Thank you, and have a good evening for European people and good day for American people. Thank you. Goodbye.